It has been said that the Christian of the future will be a mystic or will not exist at all. But you know, the person who said that, the theologian Karl Rahner, said it 40 or 50 years ago. So are we living in the future that Karl Rahner was talking about? Is it time for Christians to take mysticism more seriously? My name is Karl McColman, and in this video, I'd like to talk about 5 ways that we can think about Christian mysticism and how it can transform our relationship with God. So what is Christian mysticism? To begin to answer that question, I'd like to suggest that mysticism within Christianity, really within all religious traditions, is an aspect of spirituality. Now, spirituality is a vague word, but for our purposes, I would like to suggest that spirituality essentially means of the Spirit, which means having a relationship with God. So right away, Christian mysticism calls us into what it means to have a relationship with God. Now, what separates mysticism from other types of spirituality? Well, going back to the root of the word, we can say that mysticism emphasizes God's mystery and God's hiddenness or transcendence. The idea that God ultimately is a profound mystery that cannot be put into words and cannot even be fully comprehended by the human mind. On the other hand, this type of spirituality also emphasizes that God is present. God is present in our lives, present in all created things. In fact, many of the great mystics have said you can find God in all things. The divine presence is everywhere. The fullness of joy is to behold God in all. So the fancy word here is imminence, this idea that God is truly present. God is closer to us than we are to ourselves. This then leads to the bringing all of this together, the mystery, the presence, and the spirituality, or the idea of relationship. At the heart of mysticism is love. Love matters more than doctrines or theology or ideas. Not that those things don't have their place, but that the heart of spirituality is love, the heart of mystical spirituality is love. That God is a God of intimacy and relationship, and that God seeks to be in relationship with each one of us, but a relationship marked not by judgment, not by wrath, but by love. And finally, mysticism calls us to this idea that if we open our hearts to God in love, that God will transform us, God will change us, God will make us into the fullest possible person we can be as called into being by God. So mysticism is not about just sitting on your laurels and letting life go by, but actually responding to love, being in relationship with love, love with a capital L, and then allowing that love to literally transform our lives so that we can become love present in the world. So 5 key words here to begin to explore this dimension of Christianity, Christian mysticism. It involves spirituality, it emphasizes the mystery of God, but also acknowledges God's presence. It focuses on the reality of intimacy as the heart of spirituality, and it calls us into a life in which we are transformed by that divine presence within us. Obviously, there's a lot more that can be said about mysticism than I can cover in a short video like this. But I hope that these 5 points gives you a basic framework in which you can begin or deepen your exploration of spirituality and mysticism, your exploration of this invitation into intimacy with God, into recognition of the divine presence, but a presence that is resonant with mystery, and that calls us into transformation into the heart of love. Once again, my name is Karl McColman. See you around.